in this video, we're going to start learning about solid figures, which are 3D shapes. And there are three parts to solid figures. There are nets, surface area, and volume. So this video is going to focus just on nets. So your objective is that you can name or you can identify the names of certain solid figures, and you can draw the nets of the solids. So polyhedron is a solid that's bounded by all polygon faces. So we did a unit of polygons, so we're talking about all the faces are either triangles, some sort of quadrilateral, pentagons, hexagons, and so forth. None of them are anything else, or you don't have circles as a face. That is something completely different. So a classic example of a polyhedron is like a cube. All the sides are polygons. The sides are the faces. So instead of faces, we could say these are the sides. The edge is where the line formed by intersecting two faces of the polyhedron. So taking a look at my polyhedron I drew up there, my cube, that would be an edge where two of the sides or faces meet. The vertex is the point where three or more edges meet. So right there would be a vertex. There's many types of different polyhedrons, and there's a lot of studies on them. And you could Google and find all the different kind of cool polyhedrons that do exist. So one specific type of polyhedron that we're going to be working with are prisms. And prisms have at least one set of parallel sides. Sometimes they have more than that. And their names are based off what is their base or what is parallel. So here we have a triangular prism because we have triangular sides. We have a rectangular prism here because we have rectangles as our bases, or the sides parallel. And notice here we have more than one side parallel. Cube is when we have a whole, it's made up of all squares. Pentagonal prism, notice we have the pentagon in there. Hexagonal prism, and so forth. And then we could keep going more and more. Alright, so notice these are polyhedrons because all the sides are polygons. So drawing a net is just unfolding a solid. So if I would just cut along the edges, or along certain edges, I could draw the net. So let me draw the net for the triangular prism. So I would just cut around the edge. So I notice I have three rectangles. So I would draw three rectangles, like so, and I would probably do a better job if I was doing it on paper. And then I have two triangles, like so. Now there's more than a way I could drew it. I could have just put the triangles in this position. I could put one over here. Long as it folds up to be that existing shape, you should be fine. Now in here, we're going to say the sides or the triangle is equilateral. So these sides are all congruent. So I can mark that. Notice here I say label your dimensions. That's very important when we get to surface area, that we know what side goes with what. And then these, the length between the two bases is longer, and so forth. I'm not going to draw the net for all these, but the idea is that you are just unfolding the object. So pyramid is our next polyhedron, and it's a polyhedron again because all the sides are polygons, and there's different types of pyramids. This one here is called a square pyramid. And the reason for that, the bottom of the pyramid, or the base, is a square. This one is called a triangular pyramid. And then you could guess this one. This is a pentagonal pyramid. Alright, just like the pyramids you find in Egypt. And again, it's based off what the base is of what type of pyramid it's going to be. So if I want to draw the net, I'm going to draw the net of the first one. I'm going to have a square. I might attempt to draw a square. And then I have my sides, and I would cut along the edges, and it would fold to look like that. Okay. Let's make this one just a little bit better. Alright, And again, you would label your dimensions if I gave you dimensions. So non-polyhedron, a solid that is bounded by polygon faces when enclosed by a single region space. So this is not bounded. So we're going to do a few of them that are non-polyhedrons, and really we're dealing with circles because circles are not polygons. So the two major ones that are non-polyhedrons is a cylinder. A cylinder is when we have two circles that are parallel. So two circles that are parallel, which this would be like your pop can or any other can, like bean can. So the net of this, if I would cut along, let me change colors here, this right here, okay, and then I kind of cut around the circle, the middle part would actually be a rectangle. And then I would have a circle on one and a circle on the other. And again, these circles could be anywhere on here. They don't have to be directly across from each other, but you do have that rectangle in the middle. A cone only has one circle, and then again it has that pointed top, just like an ice cream cone. So the net of this one is a little different, and not many students can picture what this one would look like, because again you would cut along the edge, but because we have the curve, it's not a rectangle, they're not evenly spaced. So you would have the circle, which is your bottom, and the bottom, I think it looks like a person when I describe this. So it curves like here, because that'd be the curving part that would go all the way around, and then it jots in like this, and then that would fold up to be the point of the cone. So again, if you want to think about it, this is a person, a little dude. Alright, and then last figure we're talking about is a sphere, which is just a ball, you can think of it. Now again, this would have a radius, and the radius would go all directions. So you have to think of this in 3D. Now the net is really goofy. It looks something like this over and over again. I'm doing a very poor job of. So I will never require you to draw the net for this. So no net needs to be drawn. However, we will be using this to find surface area and volume, because balls or spheres in the world are very all around us. To review, polyhedrons, those are prisms and pyramids. They have polygons on their sides, not polyhedrons, cones, spheres, and cylinder. And net, again, is just unfolding, and then when you're working with this, you need to label your dimensions.